Hello everyone and welcome to the U.S. Immigration News. We wish you a very happy and prosperous new year. As we step into March 2026, many immigrants are carrying the weight of long waits, unanswered applications, and years of uncertainty. But as this new year begins, there are also signs, real signs, that not everything in the U.S. immigration system is moving in the wrong direction. In fact, across green cards, work permits, visa processing, and even enforcement priorities, there are developments that point towards stability, progress, and in some cases, genuine relief. This does not mean immigration has suddenly become easy. It is not. The system remains strict, and under the Trump administration, enforcement and compliance continue to shape policy decisions. But it is equally important to recognize where movement is happening, where processing is improving, and where families may finally see long-awaited results. In this video, we'll walk through the genuine areas of positive movement in U.S. immigration as March 2126 begins. From green card approvals and work permits to visa processing trends, congressional signals and changes in deportation priorities, so you can start this year informed, grounded, and hopeful about what may lie ahead. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video. One of the most important areas of positive movement as 2026 begins is green card processing. Throughout late 2025, USCIS quietly continued efforts to reduce internal backlogs, particularly for family-based adjustment of status cases filed inside the United States. While timelines still vary widely by service center, many applicants have reported faster interview scheduling and more consistent adjudication once cases are complete and well documented. This improvement has been most noticeable for immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, spouses, parents, and unmarried children under 21, where visa numbers are always available. USCIS has continued to prioritize these cases, and for applicants who filed properly and responded promptly to requests, approvals are moving more steadily than in previous years. This does not mean every case is fast, but it does mean the system is functioning more predictably for many families. Employment-based green cards also show signs of stability while backlogs remain for certain countries, particularly India and China. USCIS has continued to approve cases where priority dates are current and documentation is complete. The agency has made consistent use of available visa numbers, reducing the risk of wasted allocations for workers whose dates are current. This has translated into forward movement rather than stagnation. Work permits are another area where there is cautious but real good news. Although USCIS reduced the maximum validity period for certain employment authorization documents in late 2025, the agency has simultaneously improved internal processing efficiency for renewals. Median processing times for many EAD categories have stabilized and in some cases improved compared to earlier years when delays were unpredictable. For applicants who file early, follow instructions precisely, and maintain eligibility. Renewals are moving with fewer interruptions than many feared. This is particularly relevant for applicants adjusting status, asylum applicants with pending cases, and those awaiting final green card decisions. While shorter validity requires more attention, the ability to maintain continuous work authorization remains intact for those who comply with the rules. Visa processing abroad is also showing signs of recovery. At the National Visa Center, document review times have become more consistent, and many cases that were delayed during earlier years are now moving forward. Consulates have expanded interview capacity in several regions, helping reduce extreme backlogs that once stretched into years for family-based and employment-based immigrant visas. This means more interviews are being scheduled and more cases are reaching final decisions. While not every embassy is operating at full capacity, the overall trend is toward gradual normalization rather than ongoing shutdowns. Temporary visas are another area where applicants are seeing progress. Student visas, exchange visas, and employment-based non-immigrant visas are being processed with clearer timelines in many consulates. This is particularly important for international students and professionals planning to start programs or jobs in 2026. While security screening remains strict, processing has become more predictable in many locations. There is also cautious optimism around congressional signals as the new legislative year begins. While no major immigration reform bill has passed, lawmakers from both parties continue discussions on targeted fixes, including workforce shortages, legal immigration efficiency, and long-term backlogs. Historically, Congress moves slowly on immigration, but incremental changes in funding decisions can still impact processing capacity and agency operations. Increased funding for USCIS operations, even without sweeping reform, can improve staffing, technology, and case handling. These behind-the-scenes improvements often matter more in the short term than headline-making bills. As of March 2026, there is ongoing discussion in Congress about resource allocation that could support continued backlog reduction. Deportation policy is another area where nuance matters. While enforcement remains a priority under the Trump administration, deportation efforts continue to focus primarily on individuals with serious criminal convictions or clear violations. For law-abiding immigrants with pending cases, approved petitions, or strong family ties, mass enforcement has not materialized. Immigration attorneys continue to report that routine applicants with no criminal issues are not being targeted simply for having pending green card or visa applications. While caution is always advised, the enforcement environment remains more focused than feared by many families. Another positive development is clarity. One of the most stressful aspects of immigration is uncertainty, not knowing whether rules are changing or cases are frozen. As 2026 begins, USCIS policies are clearer, published, and consistently applied. While strict, they are no longer shifting weekly. This stability allows applicants to plan, prepare, and move forward with more confidence. The Visa Bulletin also plays a role in optimism. While movement varies by category, the Bulletin has continued to advance in several employment-based and family-based categories. Even small forward movement can be meaningful for families who have waited years. The continuation of steady visa allocation suggests that the system is functioning rather than stalled. It is also worth acknowledging the human side of this moment. For many immigrants, good news does not mean perfection. It means receiving an approval notice after years of silence. It means being able to renew a work permit without losing a job. It means finally attending a visa interview that was postponed multiple times. These are not small victories. They are life-changing moments. At the same time, it is important to remain realistic. Immigration in 2026 still requires patience, accuracy, and compliance. Mistakes still cause delays. Enforcement still exists. Not every case will move quickly, but the presence of functioning systems, consistent processing, and visible approvals is itself a form of good news for families waiting abroad, for workers contributing to the U.S. economy, for students planning their futures, and for spouses hoping to reunite. March 2026 begins with more structure and less chaos than many feared. The message as this year begins is not to relax completely, but also not to lose hope. Immigration remains difficult, but it is moving, and for many, that movement is finally forward. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration News Channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.